Hi, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about a topic that has kind of popped up in my comments section of this YouTube video I made telling my viewers how I left the software industry as a software engineer and I'm never going to go back to it. And this topic revolves around the feeling of being stuck, really hating your job in a 9 to 5, not knowing what to do, and generally just doing something that doesn't align with your interest, what you want, kind of by extension, who you are. This topic is really important to me because I've experienced it a couple of times throughout the years, and it's just something that I feel like I can speak out about and help people for those that have put that in the comments on my video and who are experiencing this. So in this video, I want to give to you 3 strategies that have helped me throughout the years and continue to help me as I move away from something that I didn't really feel aligned with myself, aligned with who I was and what I want to do, with something that more kind of aligns to my strengths and hopefully will provide for me a more fulfilling life and a fulfilling day-to-day. And then towards the end of the video, once I give you those 3 strategies peppered with some personal examples and experience, I'm going to give you 2 actions that you can do that are very simple today that can further just help you get into that right mindset towards the track of happiness and fulfillment. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So a while back, I made this video here about why I was going to leave the software industry as a software engineer. And I've noticed in this video a few of these comments. So here's an example of one here, here's one there, and here's a couple of more here. And my heart really goes out to comments like these because this is something that really hits close to home, and I know what it's like to feel that. And the main problem that I see with this is that, including myself, you end up in a position like this because you choose activities, pursuits, studies, careers that don't personally align with who you are in a very fundamental being. You are doing things that not only that you don't want to do, but it's just something that doesn't interest you, that doesn't spark a sense of curiosity or a deep sense of connection to it. And that something is called vocation, which is what I've learned from a book called Mastery by one of my favorite authors, Robert Greene. You might know him by some of his other best-selling works like The 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, The 33 Strategies of War, etc., etc. But so the solution to this, generally speaking, is that you need to find a way to incorporate your interests, your personality, and your pursuits into something that closely aligns with your inner core. That's your vocation, so to speak. And so what is a vocation? So a vocation, defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is a summons or a strong inclination to a particular state or course of action. And the 2 words that you should take out of this definition is strong inclination, with an emphasis on the word strong. This pursuit that you do has to be pure. It has to come from deep within you, and you have to recognize that, and choosing something that aligns with this will lead you to a path that's more fulfilling. Now, I didn't say it's going to make you rich, or I didn't say it's going to make you worry-free or have no troubles in forever, but it's going to generally lead you to a more fulfilling life. And so you might be thinking to yourself, how did I lose it? It's always within you, but how do you lose it? And there's a few ways that you lose it. So one is external pressures. There's society that tells you, if you want to make money, you need to be a doctor, lawyer, engineers. Your family, maybe you come from a family of doctors and they expect you to be a doctors or engineers, or maybe they were in the army. Maybe you're pressured by your peer group to do certain things, looking for acceptance. Another thing is daily gnawing anxieties. There are very real things that eat at you and chip away at your inner voice, like bills have to be paid. Maybe the thing you want to do, you don't know if you're going to succeed. There's a fear of failure, fear of the unknown. There's lack of connection with yourself, with Instagram, comparing yourself to others. They say comparison is the thief of joy. drinking, gambling, endless TikTok, doom scrolling. Basically, all these things, if given a long enough time span, chip away at your inner voice, and you tend to lose your sense of who you are and what really interests you for and things like that. So we got to get back to that. And with that having been said, here are some of the three strategies as outlined by Robert Greene's Mastery book that can help you get back to your path. And also, no worries, I'm going to describe, put a link in the description with the free PDF version of this book so you can read it if you're more inclined to read it. So without further ado, let's go into the first strategy. Our first strategy is return to your origins. What does this mean? So the key behind this strategy is that you turn to your childhood and early youth to find activities, pursuits, things that really called out to you and really struck to your core as your interest. And why childhood? Well, childhood hopefully was a time in your life where you are uninfluenced and unencumbered by outside pressures that I mentioned, like your family, society, friends, etc. This was a time in your life where you gravitated towards certain activities that were true to you. And that's what you need to discover or rediscover when you employ this strategy. So, for example, for me, when I was a kid, I remember playing this game called Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It was the first Zelda game to come out on N64, and I loved this game so much. I loved it so much that after I beat the last boss, Ganon, I even started to tear up and cry a little bit because this adventure that I was really enthralled in was just over. It was done. There was nothing left to do. And I still think about this day, or I still think about that game. And it's a fond memory of something that sticks out to me. And so what do you take from that? That I like video games? Not exactly, no. It's deeper than that, more profound than that. It's the idea of adventure, exploring new lands, going through challenges and feats and just generally just being an adventurer. And that really struck with me. And over my life, I've done pursuits that have aligned with that. I've traveled all over the world, lived in different cities, went hiking, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a deep interest that I like to or want to carry over into something that I do now. Like YouTube. This is an adventure for me. I love challenging myself and meeting new people through this endeavor, et cetera, et cetera. And another follow-up example I'll give you is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This was a book by Robert Kiyosaki that planted the seed in me to begin investing and business and side hustles. And this was something that I picked up on my own. And no one gave this to me. No one gifted it to me. I just picked it up and it spoke to me. It seeded my interest into business and all kinds of endeavors like that. And then reading that, I remember I would sell candy in high school to all the social groups during lunchtime. And that was so much fun for me because I loved buying the candy, calculating my profit margin, going around from group to group and selling the candy and making the money. It was a lot of fun. The whole process was fun. And so that's the idea behind going back to your childhood and youth. Find something, activities, objects, things that you've done that spoke deeply to you, that inspired you, gave you a sense of curiosity or powerfulness. And that's strategy number one. Now, strategy number two, the second one on our list, is called avoiding the false path. And I'll admit, this is where I monumentally screwed up. So with all the things I talked to you about, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the adventure and the business interests and side hustles, I had it in my idea that I was going to leave my hometown for college and major in business. And I went to Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. And wouldn't you know it, instead of majoring in business, which I initially tried to do, you want to guess what I ended up graduating with and what the degree? It was psychology. Now, why would I pick psychology? Well, the reason I picked psychology was because I took an accounting course during my freshman year and an econ course, and I almost failed them both because I was too interested in partying and meeting people and just enjoying my first semester. And I chose psychology because it was the easiest thing I could think of, and the girls in that class were very cute. And that's why I chose that degree. And that is the crux of this strategy. Avoid false paths. Don't do what I did. What does that look like? It's choosing things that are easy, choosing things that are, wrapped in the promise of money, social status, things that are pushed on you by your family or society, things of that nature. In probably every case, I would probably say every case, choosing things based on criteria like that doesn't align with you generally ends up going badly. I did psychology, I studied it, and I graduated with a grand total of a 2.6 GPA because I barely studied. And then by the time I got out of college, I was really screwed. I really realized that instead of doing what I was supposed to do, business, I majored in something useless, couldn't pursue, and I was lost. That's how you get lost. That's what leads to the comments that were on my YouTube video about not knowing what to do, having an existential crisis. So don't do this. But this one's hard to do because those are very real temptations, and those are very real things that you have to carefully weigh out. And sometimes you might not have the option, and maybe choosing one of those is the best option at the time. But just be wary about choosing false paths because it always ends up in a bad spot. And I really don't want that to happen to people who do that. The third one, let's just say you did ignore that and you didn't follow my advice, and now you're in the spot that I just mentioned and you don't know what to do. This strategy is called basically the find your way, life and death. This is where you assess what went wrong in the most objective way possible. And figuratively speaking, you have like a little mini death. You have a come to Jesus moment like I did with tech. And you understand that the life I am leading, and if I continue to do what I'm doing, is not going to work. It's not who I am. It's not what I want to do. It doesn't make me happy. And you need to understand that only through patience and sacrifice and really listening to yourself, you will have to make your way and, literally like back to life, so to speak. And this is not a linear path. It's not an easy path. It really takes courage, or what I like to say, balls, cojones, to do it. But in the end, the hope is that this is a more fulfilling path. So that's the idea behind that. The key point of that is that you really got to be honest with yourself. Understand that there's sacrifice and patience. A lot of people have asked me, well, what do I do to get the same amount of money as my software engineering job? And that's not the right idea. That's not the idea behind the strategy. So that's pretty much the third one. And then let's just say you've heard these strategies and you're thinking to yourself, damn, Daniel, I'm not trying to, fulfill some kind of destiny. I'm just trying to find like a more tolerable job. Well, don't worry, because I got you covered with these 2 bonus tips. So one thing that has helped me and has helped me once in college and another time in my late adulthood was something called the Myers-Briggs type inventory and the strong interest inventory. So there's a company called Myers-Briggs, and what they do is they have assessments that you can take these, and the Myers-Briggs type inventory will tell you what personality type based on questionnaires of what you are. And there's 16 personality types. And me, for example, I am ENTP, and that stands for extroverted. I forget what the N is, but it's thinking and perceiving. But anyways, there's 16 personality types, and by doing this assessment, you'll find your personality type and then a list of careers that suit that personality type. So that way you don't have to, you could take a lot of the guesswork about, how your personality works and what it could potentially fit with better suiting jobs. And then the strong interest inventory is also another legit assessment that I've done where it just gauges your interest in the following fields. And coupled with these 2 assessments, you can be able to start today and just begin to getting in the mindset of something where, you know, you can find a job that's more palatable to you. And, you know, the other three strategies are kind of daunting. Um, you know, I try to do them, but if you're not totally into that, that's totally fine. There's those two strategies, and that's about it. That's what I want to leave with you, so you can hopefully get to where you want to be. Because I really do feel for some of these people that write in my comments or reach out to me on LinkedIn saying that they're stuck or they don't know what to do or they really hate their job but can't imagine going any further with it. And it just sucks. And I really, like, my heart goes out to all those people. But that's what I'm doing. That has helped me. Again, there's a link into the description on Robert Greene's Mastery. I really recommend it. And then if you want to check out my other videos, please do. This was the video about me quitting tech, and there's another one about why I'm choosing YouTube, etc., etc. But I'll leave with that. Hope to see you in the next video, and I'll leave you with this quote. So until next time, bye.